Welcome everyone back to another episode of Creekcast Bit Size, our brand new series every single Friday. As you know, this is our very first official episode, right?
Yep, our number one. The last one was the announcement, but today we're going with the first official bit size.
Yeah, well, as you know from last episode, these are going to be shorter, more bite size episodes. And we have some really interesting topics for you today.
Yeah.
So, if y'all didn't know, we're in the midst of a pandemic, and the countries like the US are sucking ass and not getting vaccinated or using masks. So, the topic of today is going to be just the general effects of anti-vax people, and then how ethical is to force vaccinations.
Yeah.
So, Masa, what's your take on this?
I think vaccination should. I don't know if it should be obligatory. I would suppose that people should be smart enough to get vaccinated, but since we're seeing that people clearly aren't, and it just keeps us stuck in this pandemic and people losing their lives because others don't want to get vaccinated. I don't know. I feel like maybe it should be an obligation to get vaccinated.
I agree. However, I'm not sure into actually forcing them to get
Yeah.
vaccinated, because that only creates more unrest and distrust.
Mm, mm.
And we know it's perfectly safe,
Yeah.
but
We're
some
both
people,
vaccinated.
yeah, but fully vaccinated, the both of us, so we're not anti-vax or something. But what I'm saying, I think what they're doing right now is the best move. Like,
Yeah.
you only can have your vaccine passport, or you can't go out of your country.
Yeah, exactly. It's like forcing you to get a vaccination, but without like saying you do have to get a
Yeah,
vaccination.
it's removing all privileges, like
Yeah.
little kids. Like, you don't eat your dessert. Well, you don't eat your normal meal, you don't get dessert.
Exactly.
But that needs to be applied more heavily. Like, let's
Yeah.
say, yeah, you well, for most places on the US, you can't enter most places without your vaccination card.
Yeah.
And so I know it's wild. So I think
Yeah,
the impact of these people is way harder than they like to admit.
Yeah.
Because we get it. People are stupid. It's fun to make fun of them. Like flat earthers, they're stupid, haha. But these people actually like harm the environment.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a joke like before
first.
the pandemic,
Yeah.
and then it's like these people are real,
shit,
and
yeah.
it's a huge group of people. Like it's shocking the amount of people that just don't want to get vaccinated, and I mean, the FDA approved the first vaccine, so that should help some people.
It really didn't. It's funny. I like to seek out conflict, to just have a better perspective, and I like arguing. So I don't know. It's kind of wild that some people are still not into it at all. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, if FDA approved, like they're just an organization, like they're going to put microchips in our ass, like.
That's the thing. It's like I think there's different levels to anti-vaxxers in a way, because you have the ones who are like, this is plandemic and they're inserting chips in our bodies, and then there's
Death.
people who just like don't find the government reliable to a sense. And I mean, I can kind of understand, right? Like not trusting.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
Yeah, to a certain degree. Like I understand not wanting to believe the government, or not like feeling that the process was rushed, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, where's your evidence? You know, I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's another case of just misinformation, which we've seen rampant in 2020/2021,
yeah,
and just general ignorance of how vaccines work and how they're developed. People
yeah,
were really worried because they came out with the vaccine within a year. They're like, oh my god, they like skipped so much steps, and like you don't know what they like. No, dude, like it's made from already
yeah,
established sciences. It's not like
yeah.
they created a brand
Started from
new
zero.
vaccines. Like no,
Yeah,
yeah, people
and
don't get that. Again, education. Fuck people.
yeah, it's just like precisely that, you know. And I think the only way to start getting to people is when their privileges are kind of put on halt. You know, when
Hmm.
you can't go somewhere, when you can't travel, you can't go in a building or a restaurant, or you're just kind of limited to certain things. And yeah, I don't know if a lot of people will consider that very ethical to a sense, because you're kind of uh, taking them out
Locked
of
out.
society in a way because
Yeah,
of
but I mean, it's perfectly legal in all senses possible.
oh
Like
yeah,
countries can decide who and who doesn't come into their
yeah, in and
country.
out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Europe. It's not accepting anyone from Mexico at all,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nothing new. People are like, "Oh, we're like it's literally 1984, dude." Like now that I've read the book, I know people have no idea what 1984 was about. But
Yeah, it's
it's wild.
logical. Like you have to set boundaries, or this is just going to keep going.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
that's what New Zealand did at the beginning.
yeah, and they had no new
Cases
cases
for
for
like
a
half
year.
a year,
Yeah,
yeah,
and now
something
they
like that.
had the one case and they locked out the entire country, and now there's no more cases.
Yeah, like it's just there's been so many ways to like resolve this issue, but it just people have been in denial, and man, it's so annoying. Just we spent like a year just like, oh man, we gotta wait for the vaccine to come in, and then the vaccine came, and everybody's like, actually
No.
no.
It's like, you motherfuckers. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just misinformation is a real thing, a real problem that people
yeah,
don't get. But it's less about misinformation because I know, well, most people are like almost brain dead, but it's th- it's stupid people that want to feel smart.
mm,
To be
hmm,
like, oh, I go against the system, which is okay, reach against the machine.
true, true.
But it's in a stupid way. It's to feel themselves smarter. Like,
Yeah,
oh, look, I'm proving all these experts wrong with my 5 minute Facebook search.
yeah,
Uh,
and
and they know it because they're stupid people, or they have been
mm,
stupid people or all their life.
hmm, yeah,
So, and they've been told so several
yeah,
times because that's what happens to stupid people. So the second they can grasp something resembling
hmm,
a valid point, they just grab it and run it to just dismay. It's like,
yeah,
oh, maybe we should be aware of what's on the vaccine and question science. Like perfect, and they grab that point and be like, we're gonna put microchips and we're fucking gonna die. And it's like,
yeah,
ah,
yeah.
no,
And you see, the thing is, as well, I think, you know, if we're looking at it from a decision-making point of view, like, sure, if you don't want to get do something for your own self, you know, if it's completely self-voluntary and won't harm anybody around you, I have no issue with that. You know, that's your decision. But realistically, most people who aren't getting vaccinated are going out, and you
yeah.
know, it's that's what's keeping us in this situation. It's not people who don't like go with anyone, and they're just locked inside, because if you're doing that, sure, I don't care if you get the vaccine or not. But when
Yes.
you're exposing other people, that's the issue.
Yeah, I mean, if you were locked out in a cell for the rest of your life, I'm cool with it. But you interact with people, which I'm not cool with.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically our takes. You already knew them, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, the new takes were the forced vaccination stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both agree that we shouldn't actually physically force them to get vaccinated because that only creates distrust.
Yeah, more
And
like social pressure.
yeah, social pressure is the best medicine. But again, stupid people being stupid, and we have to pay the price for it.
And if you're an anti-vaxxer, hit us up.
Hit us
bring you
up.
on.
We'll talk. A civilized discussion. It would be cool.
We'll discuss it. We won't call you stupid, but
You know,
right now it's just us
yeah,
two,
so we can. And yeah, I mean, that's basically the main theme for this episode. And we brought on a little surprise for you all at home.
Oh yes.
Each week, each Friday at the end of our bit-size episodes, we're going to do a little Netflix list movie recommendation.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on Netflix, because I have a lot of indie movies.
Just movie recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is also that we'll do some reviews around every once in a while, and yeah, this is just a segment to close it off with some recommendations.
Yeah, to end your week.
Yeah. So Huerta, you can start.
Oh, what an honor to do the first recommendation. Well, my recommendation of the week is a little movie called Heathers. It's famous for having a screenplay adaptation and a musical, really famous. You should just type it out. But the actual movie, since we can't go to theaters, let alone go to New York to see it, I think the movie is a great alternative. It's about school life, suicides and stuff. It's not nearly as depressing as you think. It's actually a comedy / musical.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember if it had songs on the movie. It's a long time since I've seen it.
Amazing recommendation.
But yeah, I mean, perfect movie. Has a lot of symbolism. It's cool now that we're back to school. You should check it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's mostly on YouTube though. I don't know where you can find it on streaming services.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You should.
I guess I'll have to check it out now since you've talked about it. Yeah, so my recommendation is one that I think we're going to do a review about once we both watch it. Pray Away, which is a documentary on Netflix about conversion therapies and yeah, just kind of that story. If you don't know what a conversion therapy is, it's well, you should look it up. But it's basically like this group groups and churches that would offer to transform people who wanted to no longer be gay. So people who were gay or transgender or anything on the spectrum would just have to. Well, most would be forced to go, but they would go and be kind of brainwashed into changing. So yeah, you should check it out.
A light movie, I would say.
Yeah, it's a heavy documentary, but it's really good. Honestly, it's really good.
Yeah. Okay. So now you have a documentary and a comedy movie. You should check them out. And yeah, that has been Creekcast Bit Size number 1. See you back next week on the second episode of Firewall. And yeah, second episode of Firewall.
Third one.
The third episode of Firewall?
Yeah, because the announcement is...
Oh yeah, I mean we're recording this one in advance, so
yeah.
The third episode of Firewall.
Yeah, the first one with our guests, and that one is amazing with the Black Mambas and Craig Spencer.
Oh, it's with the Black Man. I love those guys.
It's
great episode. Great episode.
I mean, don't tell anyone, but my favorite episode.
It's actually a pretty fun episode, but we won't keep you any longer. Have fun. Have a nice weekend.
Enjoy.
And see you on Monday.
Yeah, this has been Creekcast Bit Size. Beat you later.
Beat you later.